Hey everybody, what's going on? Tricks here. I'm going to try to talk really quick through this video because for some reason I don't know what's going on with my camera and it shuts off after 10 minutes. Anyways, we're going to be talking about the PewDiePie situation that has just recently happened. And before we get into that, I just want to give you guys some background as to why this is such a big deal that what PewDiePie just did. Why it's such a big deal that he did it. Okay, so rewind, I don't know, a few months ago or something like that, PewDiePie was attacked by the Wall Street Journal, and the Wall Street Journal was claiming that PewDiePie was a racist and that he was a Nazi and that he hated all Jews, and painting this big picture that PewDiePie was this super bad person. And how they did that was they were taking little bits of his videos and putting them together and basically showing out of context these little clips that made it look like PewDiePie was a Nazi or that he hated Jews or that he was a racist. I'll give you guys an example so you can kind of understand better for yourself what I'm talking about. So in one of PewDiePie's videos that the Wall Street Journal used to attack him with, he was on a website where you could pay people to do anything, and he paid somebody to do something really extreme, something that was crazy. And what it was these people held up a sign and it said, "Death to all Jews." And he thought it was just absolutely crazy and ridiculous that you could do something like this and was making fun of it. But Wall Street Journal took just that segment out where they're holding up the sign and was like, look, he's paying people to say "death to all Jews," and completely took that video out of context. In another example, PewDiePie literally does the Nazi salute, and he says in that video, he's like, Wall Street Journal is going to take this clip out and say that I salute Hitler. And Wall Street Journal did literally exactly that. It was kind of ironic that they did that, and that's just an example of what they were doing. It was really unprofessional, it was wrong, and it was ridiculous, but it caused a chain of events to happen. So after Wall Street Journal attacked PewDiePie, the top dude on YouTube, the guy who kind of represents all of YouTube because he's #1 and he's so big, a lot of the advertisers were like, hey, I don't want to be advertising my stuff on a bunch of people's videos that are negative or racist or blah, 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 blah. And so they pulled all their advertisements off of YouTube. Now, this is a big deal because YouTube makes its money from these advertisers. And YouTubers make their money from these advertisers. And so when all these advertisements left, a bunch of YouTubers started making a whole crap ton of a lot less. Some YouTubers were even saying they're going to have to go back to working full-time and might have to hardly do YouTube anymore because they just can't pay the bills. And it's a big deal because, I mean, it could destroy YouTube. And so a bunch of people were worried when this happened. But YouTube came up with an algorithm to try to please the advertisers and try to bring them back. But the algorithm itself also kind of hurt YouTubers because it kind of censored a lot of things. So people that were controversial or cussed and did things that could be considered negative, YouTube wasn't promoting them anymore. And so they weren't getting as much advertisements, and they weren't getting as much money, and YouTube was trying to promote the more kid-friendly stuff on YouTube. But their algorithm, it's hard to get something completely down pat right. I mean, it would even censor things like Call of Duty World War II. Having that in the title, it could censor that because it has World War II in it. And so it's a big issue, and people have still been dealing with it to date. And now they're worried because of what PewDiePie just recently did, which was he's playing in a game, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, and he got angry and insulted somebody and called them the N word with a hard R. And he meant this in a very negative way, which is why so many people are blowing this up, is because his old stuff in the past, you know, it wasn't bad. It wasn't in a negative way. Context matters, you know. It was, for example, the "death to all Jews." He was making fun of the fact that you can do crazy stuff like that in today's age. But in this instance, he's directly attacking somebody and saying something negative. But I'm not trying to defend PewDiePie. Where I stand on this situation is I don't think this should be blown up to the proportion that it's being blown up to. And the reason being is because, #1, I just want to say this for starters. He's called somebody the N word in an insultful way. But I don't think that that's any different than if you're going to call somebody an effing bish or a retard or a fat whatever. You know, if you're insulting somebody in a hateful way, it's hate. You're being mean, and I've seen almost everybody do that on the internet. The internet is almost known for people who do this. Like, you know those memes where it shows like a kid and it's like he's like smoking a cigarette and it's like the I effed your mom starter pack on Call of Duty. It's like the internet is known for trash talking, especially video games. So many people trash talk and are mean and hateful towards other people on video games. And I see so many people doing this. I don't think it's right, and I don't think PewDiePie thinks it's right. I don't think anybody thinks it's right, but it's something that happens. And it's something that a lot of people have been a part of. And so I don't think it's fair that all these people can attack PewDiePie because he did it when it's such a common thing that people do. And we all make mistakes. Whatever your mistakes are, number one in life, it's like you're not better than other people because your mistakes are different. You just have different mistakes. So I don't think attacking somebody because they make a mistake is the right thing to do. I think it's harsh that we live in a world where people will see somebody do something wrong and they're so quick to be like, you did this wrong, you know, and they try to blatantly attack this person, which that's what I've seen with the people attacking PewDiePie. It's not a constructive criticism like, hey, I'm disappointed that you said this. I don't think you should say this anymore. Yeah, it's more like, you should delete your channel. This guy's a douchebag, blah, 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 blah. They're blatantly attacking PewDiePie. And I don't think that that's fair because we all make mistakes. I'm not saying that PewDiePie was in the right. I don't think PewDiePie thinks he was in the right. He made an apology video saying that he was in the heat of the moment. He got angry. He just said whatever he could say that was, you know, disgusting. And because he was angry. And I think it's easier to do that too when you're just staring at a screen and not an actual person. You know, if I'm staring at a screen, I've definitely went off on a screen before, saying some hateful things to a screen. And it's not something I'm proud of. It's foolish and kiddish and stupid. But I got angry in the heat of the moment, and I did that. I've never done that to a person. I think there is a difference there that also should be distinguished. And the third thing that I want to bring up is something that I think is really ridiculous out of this whole situation, is that a game developer, I don't know his name, but he created the game Firewatch, which PewDiePie had uploaded videos on playing that game. But this game developer was blatantly attacking PewDiePie, and again, it wasn't like something that was constructive criticism. It was calling him names and attacking him. It was like, I'm going to try to, it was something like file a copyright claim on his videos for Overwatch, and he was going to try to get PewDiePie's Overwatch videos taken down, and he was going to try to talk to other game developers and try to get them to do the same thing. And so I think this is an abuse of power when people do this. When people have an influence and they blatantly attack somebody that they don't like and try to get all the people that they influence to attack them as well, I think that is an abuse of your power and it should not happen. People who have influence over a large amount of people should use that cautiously. It should be used only to promote things in a positive way. It shouldn't be used to attack people. I think that that's wrong. It's kind of like propaganda. I don't like it. I don't think it's the right thing to do. Anyways, guys, what do you think down below? I hope I don't get a whole bunch of hate for this video because I'm not trying to defend PewDiePie. I'm just saying I think it's a bit harsh to attack people when they make a mistake. And I think PewDiePie and everybody agrees that he made a mistake. So tell me what you guys think down in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and again, I'm sorry if I offended anybody.
Play of the game.